Hi, this is Scott Jordan, and you are watching live here at Cellars of Sonoma in beautiful Railroad Square, Santa Rosa, California. Welcome to TV Tuesday Live. This is the show where we taste wine, we talk about wine, and I get to, from time to time, interview winemakers and chefs and people in the hospitality business. And today we have John Bambury in the house, and we're going to taste the Bonneau wines. John, welcome to TV Tuesday Live.
Nice to be here, Scott.
Yeah. The last time I saw you, we were eating lobster out in front of that beautiful vineyard, and we're going to show pictures of that a little bit later, but we had a really good time, man.
We had a good show, about 40 people out there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
it was nice.
And they enjoyed, I heard from other people, I didn't get to go on the tour of the vineyard, but there were quite a few people that commented on how nice of a tour you give, so we're going to make that a regular thing, maybe. Okay. And, you know, we talked about, and I'm just going to throw this out here, we don't have a plan in place, but we like that setting, and so maybe the next thing we can think about is some kind of a harvest party, something in the barn. There's a barn over there, and it's real cool, and so there may be something in the works. We'll work on it. Would that be cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah, so it's a great spot, and the wines were fantastic, and you were a great host, so thank you very much. Those of you watching for the very first time, this is an interactive show. You can actually ask us questions, and we will answer them live. We have Karina on camera here, and she is going to try to field the questions. We also have some guests in the audience, and they'll ask questions from time to time. So read your notes, make sure you know about your wine, John. So we will make it interactive. If you've never used it before, on this side of the video screen, you can check in through Facebook, Twitter, or if you have a Ustream account, you can actually create one really quickly. That'll allow you to ask questions and tell us who you are and where you're from, so we can identify that. We have people watching from all over the country every week, and so we want you to play right along with us. Also, we will do a drawing tonight, and it's getting serious. We're drawing for nine bottles of wine for $1 a bottle. So some of you know the game, and the game's simple. When you come in the taste room and do the blind tasting, you can enter the contest that way, and but you have to be tuned in to win. Some of you have received emails from me or a phone call, which is a new segment that we do. We actually call the person at the end of the show that if they haven't called in, and then I send them that clip with me calling them. It's really right. It ticks them off, but it's great. Because the bottom line is we want you to come and if you live locally, come and taste the wine with us and meet the winemakers. But tune in live and ask questions throughout the show. So. Anyway, that's what that is.
Do you ever get through to them?
Oh yeah, I got one last week. It was Miller. What's her name? Oh shoot, she's going to kill me. Michelle Miller, who used to live in Santa Rosa. She now lives in Hawaii, and she was just getting from puddle jumping from one island to the other. So we had no sympathy for her, but. But
you had to give her the dig, right?
Oh, right out of the gate, man. And we love her. She's really a great gal, a good family friend, and we love her a lot. But yeah, you got to be tuned in. That's what it's all about. So we're going to start with, we're going to do Chardonnay tonight. We're going to do Pinot Noir, Zinfandel, and then Petit Syrah. We're going to talk about some wine specials that we've got going on that John has let us take advantage of. But first, this is a new Chardonnay for us. It's 2011.
2011.
Los Caneros, the Catherine's Vineyard, where we were at for the lobster lunch, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right there. So first of all, you have a couple styles in the Chardonnays you make. So give us an idea. What style are we classifying this one in? I know the answer, but I'm just throwing it out.
So we've talked about it that in my vineyard on previous shows that we've undertaken a replanting program and added some different clonal, I hate to use that word, but it's a little bit overused. But anyway, clones of the Chardonnay in the vineyard. And this is going to give me some more complexity in the wine. This is the first wine that I've been able to get all of the new and the old clones combined together into one wine. And it's
nice.
It's the Catherine's Vineyard version, Los Caneros. Since we're in 6 overlapping appellations in my vineyard, I named some of the other blends of the grapes from our vineyard, Sonoma Coast and Sonoma Valley. And the only difference is there's going to be a different flavor profile in those wines. But this has been the mainstay here at Cellars of Sonoma. We did have a little departure with one of the 2010.
Yep,
we did. It was only 2 of the 4 clones from the vineyard. So, and it was a little different flavor profile. So this, let's see.
This is pretty rich. We poured this because I know that when we were at the property, I forgot a case of wine, and I brought the wrong wine out. We ended up pulling from your stuff, but it wasn't this. It was when I got back here, it was the Sonoma Coast. Is that
what year?
The 11? I think it was the same year. What's in the 11? I can't remember now.
Sonoma Coast or Sonoma Valley?
Sonoma Valley. It was Sonoma Valley. Yeah. But that's a different wine than this.
10 is Sonoma Coast.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. We have spreadsheets to figure this stuff out, man.
All right.
But we figured it out because some of our Chardonnay lovers, yeah, they nailed it because boy, oh boy, did they really like this.
Okay, so what's this going on in here? First of all, it's not 100% malolactic fermentation. Some of about 11% is stainless steel.
Now, why did you do that? I mean, tell them. I know why you did, but tell them.
Yeah, well, it's to add some complexity. It actually sort of sharpens up the finish in the wine, gives a little more acidity. Takes the edge off of some of the oak in in the wine, and just to make it a little more interesting. So 89% is 100% French oak. Of that, about 40% is new.
Okay.
And those are Burgundian Coopers. There's 4 of them that I use.
Okay.
And so that's what's in this particular wine. And I think the last one that I made like this was the 09. But it was 100% just clone for the Carneros clone, the Martini clone. And it was probably a little bigger. This one's a little more elegant, I would say.
And that's what we noticed when we tasted it. And Brian's, are you agreeing to that?
Yes, I'm agreeing that it's very good, but I have a question.
Oh, okay. You have a question.
Okay.
So, Karina, would you field a question for our audience member here? And make sure your split shot is out there.
You want the split? You don't want the full?
Well, whatever you think.
Yeah, I got the full.
Yeah. I mean,
All right.
I can't be the director and the
So
host
what's your
as well.
question?
Yes, you can.
I guess I can.
Hi, John. Could you just explain just a little bit about the malolactic process and what that means?
That's a great question. We throw that word out a lot. So what's going on with malolactic?
Well, it's a secondary fermentation that malolactic process converts, let's see if I can get this right. Malic.
Lactic to. Well, I always get it wrong too. I always screw that up.
Thanks for asking me. But,
Yeah, from malic to lactic, malolactic. Going from malic to malolactic. First of all,
So
it's a great question.
Going from malic acid
Yeah,
to lactic acid.
right. That's it.
And so malic acid is sort of a characteristic that you'll have in apples, and lactic acid is like it's in milk. So there's a process that introducing this bacteria to the wine gives it a richer, fuller flavor, or maybe even a texture to the wine. Sometimes people say it's buttery, and it gets a little confusing to me. Are they talking about does it taste buttery or does it feel buttery? So if it feels buttery or kind of viscous, then the malolactic process is working well. If it tastes buttery, then you have a defect in the wine. So you don't want buttery. If it tasted actually like butter to me, then
That's a problem.
I would be having a problem, and you wouldn't be having it in this wine.
No.
I would sell it.
I guess my question is it a true fermentation process, or is it a chemical?
So repeat that question just so everybody that's watching can hear.
Well,
No.
of course, fermentation is a chemical process, right? You would have to say that. But so it is a fermentation, and it's a chemical process. It's both a candy mint and a breath mint.
I believe that.
So, our terminology would be a secondary fermentation, okay, in referring to malolactic fermentation. However, in the sense of how the first fermentation worked, you're converting sugar to alcohol. In the second in the second process, you're introducing a bacteria to the wine to let it further process again. And so we will have a fermentation that goes for converting sugar to alcohol, and then a second fermentation, it has to finish malolactic fermentation. So, and there can be hang-ups in the winemaking process, and those are things that winemakers dread.
Well,
But anyway.
you also don't you have to introduce some temperature? I mean, it can't be super
Yeah,
cold.
you
It's
do.
not gonna take, right?
Both those processes go through in something close to room temperature,
Yeah.
but not in the cellar where it would be 55 to 60 degrees.
I mean, I've
We
been
want to be 70 to 80 degrees for malolactic fermentation.
in some cellars where they've got heaters going, and they're trying to heat those barrels up, man, to kickstart that sucker because they're just dragging, and that's what you got to do.
You can slow the process down by cooling it down. So depends on whether it's going too fast or too slow. But generally, we want it about room temperature, but 72 degrees.
Well, no complaints on that. That's pouring really nice. It's real clean, which I like. And everybody that comes in and talks about Chardonnay, they live in two camps. They live in that what they perceive as oaky buttery, and then that stainless steel fresh cut apple, that type of a wine. But I'm seeing more and more winemakers kind of try to move it a little bit to the middle a little, and you pick up those customers that I want only oaky buttery, and they actually like the crispness in a small amount in the wine, so they really enjoy that. So yeah.
You're getting both fruit and
Yeah.
oak in the nose, and on the palate, and then I think it's a little lighter than the 09.
Now that's going to evolve though a bit? It's pretty young. It's going to evolve a little bit.
It is young, and this thing has this wine.
This wine thing.
This wine thing. It has a chance to really improve with another year or two.
Well, 11 was a challenging year a little bit. We had some weather
I think
issues,
you'll remember the 09 really didn't come around for a whole year.
Yeah.
Actually.
and that was a staple wine. That was a wine that, man, you could lay that out
When
and
we first tasted it, it was a little torn
little,
apart.
yeah.
And it came together really nice. And I literally had people, I mean, I sold every bottle out of that. It's gone.
Oh yeah, I know. And even in all the stuff I try to hide in here, it's it. No, it's gone, man.
All that was gone.
It's definitely gone. All right, so beautiful, beautiful Chardonnay, great price point, $34 retail. If you're a Cellar Club member, it's $28.90. And if you're not a Cellar Club member, please keep buying big at retail. We like that a lot. We really enjoy that. But you can join our wine club. It's real simple. 4 bottles, 4 times a year. You get up to 15% off on your wines, 20 on reorders. But really, it's about access to these small production wines, because a lot of these wines, let's face it, they don't get the national attention. They're just never going to get that because of the small quantities. And it's really your only opportunity. And the lesson to be learned, and we talk about it every week, and I keep harping it, but a lot of people are learning it, you got to buy it while it exists. There are no secondary markets. There's no place we can go and pull from a big warehouse and go, oh, we can get that. No, when it's gone, it's gone. And I try to snatch up as much as I can, but, you know, he keeps selling it too. So, so get with the program. Next is 2010. This is a new release for us. Sonoma Coast San Giacomo Vineyard. That's very significant. John, tell us a little bit about San Giacomo Vineyard, and tell us why San Giacomo. I mean, you can pull Pinot from anywhere. Why San Giacomo?
Well, I think at least half this business is relationships. It goes with how well you're handling the tasting room, and in this instance, this is one of our growers. So, as you know, Bonneau only grows Chardonnay on our property, and we actually sell most of our fruit to other wineries. Mm-hmm. This year it'll be Rutherford Hill and Landmark buying our fruit, and Bonneau. So those 3 wineries.
And Landmark makes a pretty nice wine, no doubt about it.
So does Rutherford Hill. But anyway, when it came to wanting to move on into the red wines, it was just natural when I wanted to do Pinot, which was 2008 was our first vintage. I went to longtime family friends at San Giacomo. So my family, the Bonneaus, came to Sonoma in 1920, and the San Giacomos came there in 1927.
Wow.
So
that's pretty early in the wine business.
Literally known them all my life, and close to the family. So when it was time to decide on where to get my Pinot, it was just natural to go to them. And I met with Steve San Giacomo, and I asked him, he's 4th or 5th generation over there now, I asked him, if you were going to make a Pinot, where would you get the fruit out of your 1,600 acres of farmed land that they have in both Petaluma Gap and in Carneros, and Sonoma Valley, I should say. He picked some blocks for me, and we've been using those blocks ever since 2008. One of the nice things that the San Giacomos do, they do not make any of their own wine from their vineyards. They're strictly growers and producers. They focus on that.
And somebody that's been growing that long, that's pretty unusual. I mean, usually they try to play a little bit around with their own wine.
I know. They're just really dedicated to the growing side of the business.
Well, it shows in fruit, because I've had many wines from San Giacomo, and they're pretty outstanding.
Well, one of the things that's nice about getting fruit from them is once a year, all the winemakers meet at the Ramekin Culinary School in Sonoma. We sit down, we bring samples, barrel samples of our wines that we've made from the various blocks in San Giacomo, and we compare our notes. Wow. We compare when we picked, what block we picked, what time of the year we picked, or what exact date we picked. Let's say if there was a rain involved, did we pick before the rain or after the rain? Then what kind of yeast did we use? What kind of barrel regimen? What kind of process that we use in making the wine, and you'll have literally 60 different approaches to Pinot in a room full of 60 different wineries. Amazing.
Well, and I'm not aware that other wineries do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty unusual.
There's an old adage, there's really no secrets in the wine business. But there is 1,000 ways to skin a cat as far as how you're going to approach making the wine. And that's what makes it interesting for the consumer, in my opinion. The advantage of them going out and tasting wines from other wineries gives them an opportunity to see what other winemakers are doing. And the idea is just saying, well, if it's Pinot, and it must be about the same.
Yeah.
Obviously isn't actually true.
No.
And this is really manifest for us. At the same time, we may pick up a pointer from somebody else that they had a better success in approaching the wine in a certain way, and we have a chance to taste it and compare notes. One of the things that came from one of the early meetings back in 2009, 2010 was one of the wineries was picking a relatively rare clone, a Swan clone, and really liked the flavor characteristics and thought it was in between some of the other ones that I was picking. So that's in this particular wine, and I think it really gives another dimension. So there's 4 clones.
Okay, well, I'm gonna want you to hold that because I'm gonna get to a question, but I want to come back and I want to get back on that same subject about the clones because it's real significant in Pinot Noir, no doubt. Go ahead, Karina.
Okay, so this question comes from In Wine Truth too, and they would like to know how important is the appellation declared on the estate label?
Are we talking about Pinot now or Chardonnay?
I think in general.
In other words, using the word estate, how significant
Yes.
is that on
How
the label?
important is the appellation declared on the estate label? So the appellation pertaining to the estate.
You're talking about 2 different things, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, appellation is a broader term, estate is a narrower term. On my Chardonnay, the word estate is on there.
Yes, along with the appellation. So
Along with the
I
appellation.
think what he's getting at is how significant is that to add the 2 on there?
So for one thing, since my estate, or where we grow our grapes, is in 6 overlapping appellations, I can refer to different appellations and it's still my estate, because it's still the same spot. It's just that it happens to be in other appellations. And it's kind of interesting because people think, oh, you're in Carneros, so you're not in Sonoma Valley. Well, that's not true. I'm also in Sonoma Valley.
Because they all merge in together.
Or
in that
so
corner.
you're not really in Sonoma Coast, then you're just in Carneros. No, I'm also in Sonoma Coast, which again overlaps. So, but it's still my estate. Now, when I move across the street to the San Giacomo vineyard, well, could I use the word estate? Probably, I could. If I define the area, which I actually do, I don't choose to use the word estate because I'm trying to differentiate the fact that I actually own a piece of property from not owning a piece of property. But an estate can be if you define a certain area and you farm that area, even though it's physically owned by somebody, you can say that's estate fruit because you're essentially leasing that property.
You're controlling it.
You
through the
control
whole
it.
process.
And you can do this through the contract that you have with the grower. So there's that angle too, and I'm not sure if that's where this particular question is going, but the only reference that I make with my wine at the moment is the Bonneau Chardonnay is from our from our property and our estate. But I could also say it if I wanted to about San Giacomo. But here's the deal. I'm using San Giacomo's name on the bottle. So I'm actually defining it more clearly by saying it is San Giacomo Vineyard, and I want to acknowledge their efforts in helping me grow and produce this fruit. So
I think it's more significant to have that be the lead there versus trying to say it's estate, so now we're piling on and not really focusing on the San Giacomo side of that.
I know that Los San Giacomo sells their fruit to 60 wineries. Only a small percentage of them refer to San Giacomo on the label, and I'm one of them. But they're my friends, and I want to acknowledge them. So that's what it's all about as far as the word estate and then appellation.
But there are rules on the estate, so you will have some restriction there. You can't just pull fruit from somewhere in Napa.
Truthfully, there's an immense amount of rules we have to follow, and
Yeah.
even in operating the tasting room
Yeah.
and making the wine, growing the grapes. It's a controlled substance by the federal government, and the state has a hand in it, and on and on and on. So there's a lot of rules you got to follow before you end up producing this wine.
Well, you nailed it again. And again, I want to let everybody know that we have verticals of several of John's wines that we still have been collecting, and that happens when the wine gets down to maybe 2 or 3 cases left. We then release the new wine, as we did with this one, and we library, like in this room here, we library the wines. Give them a split so they can see what that looks like. And so you have opportunities to be able to buy the Bonneau wines and our others in sets, verticals. What's a vertical? Simple. You got a wine like this, San Giacomo. We've made a couple of vintages. You could buy an 08, 09, 2010.
That's right.
Why is that significant? Here's why. Where you want to use that, you want to use that in one of your dinner parties with your friends. There's something really cool about tasting the consecutive years. You're seeing what the vineyard brought into play and what the weather and soil conditions of the time brought into play on that wine. You're also looking at and getting to experience how they aged, and it gives you some idea. This is a 2011, how that's going to be 3 or 4 years, 5 years down the road, and maybe can it go 6 or 7, and you'll know that by doing that vertical. So take advantage of those things. Again, we have very limited quantities of these wines, and they're beautiful.
I can tell you on the, you're probably dreading hearing this, but on the 2010, we're down to 30 cases.
That's not a lot of wine, man.
No, it's going fast.
We just flipped that. That's
I know,
incredible.
But I'm getting calls. It's for sale in China. It's for sale in Canada. It's for sale in the rest of the United States. So
okay, we're getting competition, gang, so you better get with the program. That's the bottom line. Once it's gone, it's gone. There's no other way.
Right.
There's
So
no
I
hidden
would
source,
say
so.
I know you. I only made what? I don't know. You have to read my notes.
I have no
About
idea.
300 cases of that, and so.
And you might think 300 cases, wow, that's a lot of wine. It's not a lot of wine, man. That is micro tiny. A small winery would make probably 5,000 cases.
260 cases.
260.
So there's 30 left.
Peanuts. It's peanuts. Retail, $42. I still contend that most of the wines you're going to find here in the room are very reasonably priced, considering the hand crafting that's going on. And in that small of a lot, you have definite hand crafting.
One other little note: we've 3 years consecutively we entered the Pinot Shootout in San Francisco. There's 400 Pinot producers that enter that contest. We've made the top 30 every year and gotten a gold medal. Then we go into the finals, and so it's always got at least a 90 points or higher rating. I don't remember which one this got, but it's the 3rd year in a row. I noticed in going to the show that there's a little bit of a rotation there. Not everybody makes it every year. So that was there the previous year.
That's pretty damn good. You got a lot of competition there.
I got a lot of competition, and the consistency of the wine showing there. So
well, it's part your winemaking and part a beautiful fruit source. So no question about it. We're going to go to a question over here.
All right. So Brad has a question, and he would like to know what year that you base a vertical on, oldest or youngest?
I would definitely say you have to start with the youngest and go to the oldest.
Yeah, I think that's what his question is. But But I think he had some wine before he started, so he's.
So should he fill in? Yes, Brad. If you're missing a few years, fill it in. You need
you really,
you need to go back as far as you can.
Yeah, you do. You really, really do.
As far as there's going to be a sort of a collectability of the Bonneau 08, 09, 10 will be black label starting to 2011, which will be around the first of this year coming up. We go to the tan label matching the Chardonnay.
Oh, nice, nice.
So I've had two colors. The problem with black is it's not very identifiable on the shelf. So I'm standardizing to one color. It also is going to give me a benefit that the capsules, which come from Spain, I can have one color. It's just a little easier to manage that way from a supply standpoint.
Well, it'll change the look of your vertical. It'll be really nice. But take advantage of that. When you open that younger wine, you're going to get a feel for what the current wine is going to look like or be able to age like. So you have a real good picture when you do that.
Exactly right.
All right. Before we go any further, I think... first of all, you guys got to take a look at this bag. It's just chock full. I mean, and there's a boatload of names I've pulled out of here because we're waiting for a winner. So I've got a bunch, that are. This thing just keeps getting bigger.
And how many bottles are we at?
We're at 9. This is like the crazy. This is where now the audience should swell up pretty good. Because if you live locally and you're not coming down here, it's like, really, what else are you doing on Tuesday at 6? I mean, really? God, we're tasting wine. We're talking about wine. You got a chance to...
You have to be here in person. Can't you be watching on TV?
Oh, yeah. No, you can be watching. That's what they're doing there. Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
you
all
know.
right.
But you can't be coming off an airplane in Hawaii and, What's that? Oh, you have to call.
You have to call in.
Yeah, and not like... Now, Andrew was here last week. He was sitting over there, and he knows Michelle. So what he did, he texted her to call in. And I busted him. I knew he was going to do it. He had a funny little look on his face. I knew darn well what he was doing.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's fair.
No, it's not. She wasn't tuned in. She was on an airplane. Forget it. These people are here,
Don't you want
man.
a winner?
They're watching.
A winner by any cost is still a winner.
Yeah, but I don't care if it takes a month. Oh, look at this. He's going, yeah.
John's a winner. Yes.
Yeah, that's all right. I got to fix this. I have to fix these.
Way too tough.
I know. But you know what? Brad Harder, you know what he says? You got to be tuned in, baby. I was tuned in. That's why I won. He's right.
How many times has Brad won?
He's won more times than anybody. He has, but you know what? He's been watching this show for almost 4 years.
He wins wine and he buys wine and he's crazy. I don't know. What's he do with it all?
Shh, don't say anything. His girlfriend don't have a cow.
He might be watching.
No, oh, you kidding? He's watching. Oh, you are not joking.
So, Brad, don't laugh.
We're not pulling your name, Brad. Sorry, it ain't gonna work. Okay, so John,
all right.
Dig in there, man. Come on, there's got to be.
Shook it up enough.
Yeah. Uh-oh. I just saw some that weren't folded, so I just wanted to make sure that it was all fair, Because nobody trusts me anymore. Oh, what do we got here?
Stacy Rhodes.
Stacy Rhodes. Stacy Rhodes. And
650.
1029.
650. That's San Mateo.
San Mateo, okay.
Or the peninsula or
somewhere in that area. She came in October. Oh no. Yeah, October 29th.
Boy, it's been in there almost a year.
Oh, some of these have been in there for
There's
4
no
years.
way she's watching, Scott. Come on.
But you know what, John? We're going to call her at the end of the show, and I'll guarantee you she watches now. They forget because they do the blind tasting. And they forget what the heck they were doing, and didn't tune in. But I'm rubbing it in, man, because that's a good prize, man. That's not like that's a pretty good deal. So anyway, so Stacy, I don't care if I have to pull 30 for 10 weeks. That's fine with me.
I think you better pull another one. I don't think Stacy's watching.
All right, we'll pull one toward the end of the show. All right? And then, but we're going to call Stacy because we want that on camera. All right, Stacy Rhodes. Anybody know Stacy Rhodes? Do not call her. She had to be tuned in. All right. Coming up this weekend, we have our regulars in, John, we've got John Pete on Friday, and then what's the guy's name? Greg Yoder came in and said, I want to audition. He came in on a Wednesday, started playing, loved it. The guy plays a great guitar, top 40 stuff, 70s, 80s, does all of that. And he's going to be, somebody will slide in from time to time. So that's coming up this weekend. So come on down. If you want to order dinner, you can order it right from the restaurants down the street and have it right here. So it doesn't get any better than that. Okay, next. We're going to pour, I hate pouring wine out, especially that San Giacomo.
That stuff was good.
That was really good. This is 2009. This is the current release of the Dry Creek Zin. Dry Creek being a little warmer than the Russian River and Carneros. Mm-hmm. You've got a real nice offer on this wine. Retail price is $36. We've got it. We've got a special on that at $25.20. So if you guys like this, Andrew put on there for today only.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, there you go. That's 30% off, and that's a heck of a deal. 2009, wonderful vintage year. Tell us a little bit about this wine and the source of the fruit.
This comes from Dry Creek on the east side foothills, which is supposed to be the ideal spot in Dry Creek.
Give me a reference point. Where would...
If you know where Ferrari Carano is.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It's a very
Look
top
across the street, up the hill.
Oh, okay. On the east side.
East side, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that what I just said?
You did.
It's the Coleman
Wait, no, he
Vineyard.
said across the street. These people are watching from all over the country. They're going, how?
Well,
across
you
the street
wanted-
doesn't mean anything.
You were the one that wanted a reference.
No, I did, because I want to be able to tell them. So, that, yeah.
So it's upper part of the valley, right?
Yeah,
It's
so-
about 7/8 up the valley
Yeah.
from
it's
the
almost
bottom.
at the end of the road,
Almost the end of the road,
unless you go to the lake.
and then you look. Yeah, that's right.
But it's up on that. It's up on that.
Just across the street
Across
from
the street,
them.
on the hill.
You drive up there,
Okay.
a steep driveway, dirt road,
Okay.
and there's a vineyard up there.
Okay.
That's where the grapes come from.
Now, is that a specific vineyard as far as
Coleman,
Coleman Vineyard?
yeah, I think it's sort of a no name, but that's a great spot
Why is it a great spot, John?
because Dry Creek has the best climate, in my view, for growing Zinfandel.
I agree with that.
And the east side doesn't get hammered as much with the sun
It's
directly.
warm over there. It's warm.
It's warm, but it's not getting burned.
right.
So then the hillside gives you good drainage for the grapes, and there's a little better conditions for getting the fruit ripe evenly. Zinfandel is really hard to get the fruit ripe evenly.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is where I had to go up there.
And how
Bunch
much?
of times tasting the fruit before I decided it was ready.
How much wine did you make? How much of this did you make, John? You remember?
Not
You can look
much.
at your notes. It's
I have
okay.
to check.
Well,
It's
there
you
you
know
go.
when you get older, the first thing that goes is the mind. Can't remember. 190 cases.
Okay,
but
that's
we
nothing.
We had a good run on the 08, so
I've just released this just about just a year ago or something. So it's still just getting traction.
Well,
But I
that's a
think it's
good
really
vintage.
then this opens up nice in the glass, don't you think?
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's a big wine. I mean, you're not fooling
But
around.
but it,
it's not harsh tannins, but
No.
they're there.
no, and I don't think the alcohol is all that big, is it? I mean, is it? Some of that stuff.
another technicality. What you
14.4. No, I got it right.
Yeah.
I can read it.
okay?
14
For very low,
That's
actually.
low.
for Zinfandel.
Well, yeah, you go up some places in the valley at the beginning of Dry Creek, right over there. You know what I'm talking about, man. His wines over there are 17.
I would have probably
That's crazy.
remember the growing conditions.
It was.
Bonneau was okay.
It was a good yield, a big yield. I thought it was a
Yeah,
big yield.
it was. We didn't run into too much trouble with the weather.
No, it was nice.
I should have let it hang a little longer. I
Can we
think.
try turning the mic off and then back on? There's a lot of
Static.
static.
Are you getting
yeah.
static? Really?
Yeah, it's really bad. So a little bit on both.
How about that? Are you getting a you?
Is that better?
Are you having?
Yours is better.
What
Okay.
about you? Don't know because you're not on your headset.
Why would
Well,
turning
I
it
can
on and
hear
turning it
from
off
here.
though?
Sometimes if you reset mechanical devices.
I see.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
right.
Well, we're live, so that's
It's
the way it
better
goes.
now.
You know, it is.
Yeah,
not like
this
these
is
other
real.
shows,
This
they
is,
get to, record it and then edit it later. No. We do
That
it.
seemed to work a little bit. So
Did
let's
it?
keep
Okay.
going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Thanks for that.
Thanks for helping.
All right.
So yeah.
So that typical kind of brambleberry fruit and spice, little pepper on the finish.
yeah, a little spice. You
This
get
would
the
be
spice for sure.
great with barbecue. I mean, just
Oh, yeah.
really sensational.
And take advantage. That's a great price. 30% off. $25.20 a bottle. Retail on that is $36. And yeah, you can't go wrong with that particular wine. And
Last year, we were at the Zap Festival. I don't know if all our viewers know about the Zap Festival, but that's the biggest single wine show in the world,
yeah, it is. It's
just
huge.
Zinfandel.
Yeah.
So this wine and Bonneau was paired with Ruth Chris, and we offer, so it's a food pairing with restaurant and winemaker, and Ruth Chris graciously picks Bonneau wine to be their, of all the Zinfandel
Wow.
producers, to be their partner. Well, anyway, they also offer the best food at the show. They give a lamb lollipop, and it's paired with this wine.
Nice.
We had a line as far back as you could go. We went
Lamb
through
lollipop. You got my attention.
1,200 lollipops.
Wow.
Actually, we bring a bunch of cases of wine. We ran out, had to run over to the restaurant and get another case just to finish up. But anyway, what they do, Ruth Chris is the largest steakhouse in the world. Chain. There's 500 stores.
Right.
They all follow basically the same recipe, but the chef at this particular one, he's from Turkey, I think, Chef Youssef, and he soaks the lamb in milk for 3 days before
In milk.
in milk.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's buttermilk, but I think it's just milk.
Wow. That's
Anyway, for 3
weird.
days.
You're nodding your head like you know that. Buttermilk. Okay. Buttermilk.
Okay, could be buttermilk.
Okay. All right. It's all right. We have an expert in the back here.
Could be.
He's got that.
Anyway,
So-
the point is the soaking thing.
I never heard of that. That's crazy. Go ahead.
Well, it tenderizes the meat,
Okay.
and to some extent, if there is any gaminess, it mitigates that. I happen to like lamb to taste like lamb. Anyway, his lamb still tastes like lamb, but it's real. It's real. What's so funny?
You want the lamb to taste like lamb? I like that.
Anyhow, it still tastes like lamb, but it's real tender.
Okay. So tenderizing is the issue.
And this wine,
This
okay,
wine
goes-
went with that.
That goes with it. So try it.
Yeah, with
Soak
lamb.
your lamb and for 3 days in
Buttermilk.
buttermilk or your favorite whatever.
Okay.
Soak it in
3
wine.
days.
Well, you try soaking it
Could
in.
we do a combination of buttermilk and wine?
I don't know. This is
She's
getting.
shaking her head. She's going, no. The acid will screw it up?
Ew,
Oh, it'll
that
curdle the
doesn't sound
milk.
good.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay.
See, I'm not that smart.
All right.
You have a question? Go ahead there,
I
young
do
lady.
have a question, and this is coming from In Wine Truth too. They would like to know, compared to other AVAs, what is so special about Dry Creek?
Compared to other AVAs, well, all the AVAs have some kind of geographic characteristic to them, but as far as Zinfandel and Dry Creek, it's just it's below sea level there. Am I right, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely.
And And so the heat kind of goes in a basin there and kind of wallows there and gives extra heat to the vines. And Zinfandel grapes just love a warm climate. And so I think it's just a situation that, Zinfandel grows in other areas. It grows well in Sonoma Valley, actually. Mm-hmm. And up in the Sierra foothills, it grows well in Amador County. But
I'm not a real fan. I have to say, I'm not as much of a fan of that region. I really prefer the Dry Creek, Alexander Valley stuff.
And I know what happens. I can't really tell you why exactly, but it is consistent that wines made from Zinfandel grapes grown in that area consistently are more elegant and richer than Zinfandel from other areas, including Napa Valley.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. No doubt. No, I totally agree.
So that's all I can say. But exactly why, it's a mystery.
I want to let everybody take a look at a little slideshow. We're going to throw up a couple of pictures. This is of the lobster lunch that we had at your property. And it was, first of all, it was an epic day in weather. It was amazing, beautiful. And it can be a little windy over there. You could end up with some chilly.
It can blow
summer,
over there.
You bet.
Yeah.
And no, it just was really, really nice. You can just see what we had going on, and it was absolutely it was epic. It was really beautiful. And so thank you for hosting that. And
there we are.
Yeah, I think everybody's got a picture up there that's here right now. So that's
cook it right there on the property, so it's absolutely fresh. We don't bring it in from somewhere.
No.
Bring the live lobster directly to the vineyard.
Oysters were killer. Oh my gosh, I got the best darn oysters. They were really cool.
And you went through a couple of dozen.
Oh my God, 23 dozen.
Oh, yeah.
23
dozen.
Gotta love that.
Oysters.
But when you buy them, the secret is, which I just finally figured out, is you buy I always keep ordering the smalls, but they look like mediums. You order them, the extra small, and they're really tiny. They're really small. That's the way to get. And the flavor difference is phenomenal.
Where do those come from?
Right over on Santa Rosa Avenue, Santa Rosa Seafood, and they can.
Okay, well, where do you think they get them?
Oh, well, they get them. Oh, yeah. See, I'm not that smart.
Well, we're talking about AVAs and growing things. What do you think they grow them on 3rd Street over there or something?
They do. Oh, that's so funny. They get them from Hog Island.
Hog Island.
Hog Island, yeah.
In California?
Yeah, right down in south of Bodega Bay. Okay. Yeah, along the ocean. Yeah, they get them out of the ocean. They come in, yeah.
So they're completely natural.
They're natural. Yeah, they're natural. They're grown. Yeah, they're grown right there.
As opposed to the cultivated ones.
Well, I guess. It's more than I ever wanted to ask. All I wanted was some damn oysters. I wanted to put them on a tray, and I wanted to serve them to my guests. I didn't care. I know they came from somewhere cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to know what it feels like to dish it out a little bit more. He's always drilling me about these questions about the wine and everything. He doesn't even know where the oysters go. I think they came from the ocean. All right.
Our ocean here, too.
Hey, put it there, buddy.
Let's
have another glass.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah. More wine, damn it, more wine. Gotta keep this party going. Now, this is a wine that I have to say, over the almost 5 years that we've been in this room, we have not focused a whole lot on Petite Sirah, just because, not for any particular reason.
Not because hardly anybody makes it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's one reason.
And but man, I'll tell you what, when you make it right, that's killer. And you nailed it on this. And you guys have the best deal going on. This is a buy one, get one free 2008 Sonoma Valley Petite Sirah. It's not like this wine's on the end of its life. It's none of those issues whatsoever. We're just moving the inventory through and moving it and offering it as a benefit of being a customer here.
There's not much left of that.
No, there's not a whole lot of that, but
Maybe
boy, oh boy.
15 cases or
But
something.
you could sit on this for a while, too. That's a big wine.
So loaded
Beautiful
with
nose. Oh, my-
blackberry,
Oh,
and
blackberry, black fruit.
blueberries.
Oh, yeah. Yummy. What is wrong with that? Now, that's Sonoma Valley. Did that come from a particular vineyard?
It comes
of
from the
choice?
same vineyard that we get our cab from the Caton vineyard, Thai Catons.
Well,
Then there's another old Sonoma Valley family.
just so that you guys know, if you understand, at the top of the Sonoma Valley Hill is the Monte Rosso vineyard, which is Louis Martini's property.
That's true.
And then right below that is Caton's property.
That's right,
And
adjacent.
it's this crazy hilly thing.
That's
Where
right.
you go in four-wheel drives. We went through there in four-wheel drives, and I'll tell you what, it was some crazy stuff. But it stresses the vines beautifully, and it makes these really rich wines. And your 2010 cab shows of that vineyard. And yeah, this wine here coming off of there, that's luscious. What's wrong with that?
Yep. Tastes yummy.
Oh, yeah.
Another alternative for great barbecue wine.
Yeah, a little bigger, so you could probably go with a little bigger meal if you wanted to. Or I'm thinking you could go spicy, and this would work really well.
Right.
It could hold it. If you had a lamb shank or something that you didn't soak in buttermilk, you could probably use that. That would work really good. Yeah. A leg of lamb, right? Filleted. And why do I think that maybe that sounds like something you need to produce on a holiday coming up real soon?
This was done in 100% French oak. About 33% was new.
New? Wow.
So it's got plenty of oak on it, but not over oaked.
No. Beautiful nose.
And it's, I would say it's real characteristic of the varietal. Wouldn't you, Scott? I mean, this is
what you want in a Petite Syrah. This is what you're looking for. If not, when you're growing Petite Syrah, you're going to blend it in the back end of a Syrah or Zin or something to add a little color, maybe a little structure. Do you have a question back there?
We have a question from the audience, yes.
Okay.
So just
Well,
one moment.
Fire away. Oh, that's
right.
pouring good. You guys are crazy. Buy one and get one free. That's nuts.
I know this is another hard question. Is this on? Could you explain what the difference is between a Petite Syrah and a Syrah is?
The Petite Syrah question. All right, very good.
Well, there's really no correlation between those two fruits. Actually, Petite Syrah is closer to Zinfandel. They would be sister varietals. And Syrah is a Rhone varietal, and it's, I don't know what it's closer to. It's really its own thing. It's a completely different flavor characteristic and nothing genetically in common with the Petite Syrah. Now, it's spelled differently, I guess you know that. So Petite Syrah with a S-I-R-A-H, with the Syrah is S-Y-R-A-H. Sometimes Syrah, for instance, Australia is referred to as Shiraz. Same grape. That is the same. So Shiraz and Syrah are the same.
But Petite Syrah and Syrah are not.
Petite Syrah. So, for instance, if you think Petite Syrah is a little Syrah or something, a smaller berry, no. Actually, Petite Syrah is a pretty big berry on it with a pretty big cluster. It looks more like Zinfandel. Syrah is also a fairly big cluster, but looks more like Cabernet, although not associated with Cabernet either,
No, not at
because
all.
it's not a Bordeaux one.
That's right.
Anyway, it's a Rhone varietal. I hope that's helpful. I got my hands full just trying to keep track of what I'm doing, and I'm not a real historical. I'm not a real historian on a lot of these grapes, and I'm relatively new to making wine. You know, I was just at a presentation, and the guy in front of me, 45 years in the wine business.
Wow.
He could tell you a thing or two.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to be there, you know, making my presence known.
Yeah, yeah. Well, John, you're knocking it out of the park. A lot of the guests that are here are customers that taste your wines on a regular basis. And what I love about the portfolio is I like the consistency across the board. You from the Bonneau label to the Egret label, you treat them the same. It's the same handcrafting that you do in your premium as you do in your second label, and it shows. And they love them, across the board. And that's hats off to you, because you know there's a lot of ways to slice and dice this baby up, but you know there's the right way and there's the wrong way, and you take the care and time and the small production. That's
the Petit Syrah is a great wine to have in your cellar.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little different. You can kind of break it out when you've been tired of some of the other varietals you've had.
Yeah.
And, you know, go ahead and compare it to a Syrah. You'll see they're really completely different wines when you taste them.
Way different.
And we got a good deal on this one. So let's...
2-1 doesn't get better than that. So
we have the 2009 behind it, so if we can finish this up, there's an opportunity, and then we'll be bringing on the 2009.
Yeah, and I'll shut the door on that at some point here to preserve the verticals. I really want to preserve verticals on these really small production wines. So it's to your advantage to have them in larger quantities now. Later on, you're going to be limited on what you're going to be able to buy. And I'm going to give you an example tonight. Mm-hmm. Andrew went through and looked at our current inventory to do a 3-bottle vertical of 08 San Giacomo, 09 San Giacomo, and then, of course, the 2010. Mm-hmm. There's only two 09s left, and so if you want to buy the 08s or the 09, you got to buy in the vertical. You got to get 8 and 9 together. I want them kept in the vertical. They're sold 8 and 9 and 10 until the 2 09s are gone. Then you can buy them singly as you want. It's just we want to maintain that vertical, so we're not going to let you just cherry pick them out. The last 2 are going to stay as a vertical, but there's not a lot left. You know, there's 12, a case of this, a case of that. There's 105 cab in here. I think I'm going to take that one. You guys don't have that one. Anyway, and we still have some 07 Zin, and we had a buy one get one free on that. So we'll honor that tonight as well. So this is an opportunity. Those of you that are watching online, I will post these a copy of this, and you have till the end of tomorrow to decide if you want to buy any of those. That's a good deal on every one of those. That's a real steal. But take advantage of it. Once they're gone, they're gone. That's the end of that.
And we did have some people at the lobster feed that were wanting to work on their verticals and realized that we were sold out of some of them.
Yeah, if you
can't fill in. So
yeah,
you know, you're really not kidding about doing that.
No,
we sell right out to the last bottle. I don't keep any back.
Yeah. So take advantage of that. When they're gone, and it's just a cool opportunity to have that. So make sure you take full advantage of that. So,
hey, Scott.
Yes.
Let's give somebody an opportunity.
All right. Let's make somebody happy.
That
you know, this could
that
be
may have put their ticket in there in the last 5 years or so.
I can't help it. I just leave it in there. You know, what am I going to do? It's what made it fair. It's what made it fair. Oh God, it just scares me when I see these because I'm going. We just can't.
Kent Crayley.
Kent Crayley.
707. He's
707,
nearby.
A local guy. All right. Well, let's do this. Let's
text him at kentcrayley@aol.com.
But I'm gonna call Stacy Rhodes. This name sounds familiar. This sounds really familiar. We're going to see right now if Stacy Rhodes is in town, if she is at this number. All right, here you go. We're calling right now. Let me put this on speaker here, see if we can get this. All right, Stacy Rhodes from 650, wherever the hell that is.
Peninsula.
Peninsula, okay. Oh, that's so funny.
Not home.
Not home. I'll leave a message. Don't
Move
worry.
to Toledo.
She doesn't even have an answering machine. What the heck's up with that? Oh, here we go. Okay.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hi, this call is for Stacy Rhodes. Stacy Rhodes is the Scott Jordan calling from Cellars of Sonoma, where you entered a contest to win a bottle of wine for $1. And you needed to be tuned in, however, to win on our live show, TV Tuesday Live. And I'm calling you live from the show because we pulled your name. And guess how many bottles we had for you today? We had 9 bottles of wine. But Stacy, the rules are you have to be tuned in to win. I will send you an email, however, and a copy of this clip. We'd love to have you come back in the tasting room. You were here in October, if you do remember, on the 29th, according to my notes here. We'd love to see you again, and please tune in to TV Tuesday Live at cellarsofsonoma.com. Click on TV Tuesday Live. Oh, of course I am.
He's out of time.
No, we got it.
She got the message. That's good now.
Oh.
You should put the date on there, though.
No, this shows how old it is. This has been in here a long time because I now
Older.
put the date. These are older yet. This is like 4 years.
I told you 5 years. You know, he's had.
Yeah. Well, they're going to email and we're going to make them reconnect. Huh? I cleaned this thing out one day. I did, man. Yeah, well, Brad's in here like twice. He's in there 2 times. Or maybe 4. No, well, somebody. He's just lucky. He's just lucky. I mean, we'll pull 4 next week and see if we can nail some, get somebody local that are watching. Yeah. Well, this is getting pretty big. It's getting huge. I mean, you have no idea how many are not in there. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
They're getting restless now. They want to win. See, they're starting to. It didn't mean anything at 2 bottles. Like, no big deal. Now it's 9. It's getting serious. Next week it's at 10, but it caps at 10. It stays at 10 until we get a winner. So. No,
Yeah,
you don't understand. I make money on that because you got to buy 2 more to fill the case. I love that.
So
Look,
you
I
go to
thought
10.
about this.
Okay. You
Yeah.
recycle
Yeah.
at 10.
Yeah, 10. It hits at 10, stays at 10 until we get a winner. I have no problem with that. If it takes 10 weeks, I'm okay with that too. Okay. All right. No more questions. All right. So this weekend.
Yes.
Okay.
What is it?
One real quick question.
All right.
Ask it on the
Well, yeah, but that way nobody can hear you. Hey, watch it. No, you just unplugged and the and the camera's going.
Oh, no.
Does this make?
Are we
does the
still
camera
on?
make
Yeah,
my
you're
knees
still-
look fat? You know.
What?
No. We were just when we were at the Lobster Fest.
Okay.
We had the privilege of tasting a 10 Cabernet from.
Hyde Vineyard.
Hyde Vineyard. Yeah.
We're just wondering, when do you think that wine is going to be released?
Well, you
Because
tell me.
it's delicious.
Are you ready
It
to
is-
go with it?
We're ready.
All right, we'll get it.
We
down
are really
Scott.
ready.
All right. All right.
Yeah, that's
You
all
think
I
it's ready
needed to
go?
hear.
That's all we need to know. It just comes down to dollars and cents. If it makes sense and you got the dollars, we're fine.
I was going to hang on to it for a couple of more months, but I'm happy to get it down here and get the ball rolling.
Yeah, we'll get the ball rolling on that. Yeah, that was a beautiful wine. Okay, I want to thank my bloggers that tune in every single week and our great customers They're wonderful, and we appreciate them. I want to thank our audience. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here and tasting the wines. I want to thank John. John, thank you very much for coming
Thank you,
in
Scott.
and introducing these wines to us. Some of these are new releases, and we'll be pouring them in the tasting room. Take advantage of the price points. I'll post them tomorrow. You got till the end of the day tomorrow to take advantage of the rest of these here. There's some real deals. So great chance to add to your library. And this is where you discover wine, one sip at a time, here at Cellars of Sonoma. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next week. Joseph Jewel Wines will pour tomorrow, next week. Bye.